creates distance between the family. They have lost their footing. Not that we haven't made mistakes.
Welcome back to Anis Sajan Unfiltered. Today, we are talking about something every business leader and entrepreneur needs to hear. Let's get unfiltered. Sir, so when your business started growing and family ka lifestyle thoda sa change hone lag gaya, tab what was your biggest fear regarding the boys and how this lifestyle change might impact them?
In the early 2000s, business was booming because of the real estate boom. Having said that, that is the time when we moved to our Dubai Marina house. That was our first property where we moved into a 3-bedroom house.
Okay.
After a few years, we then moved to the place where I am now currently staying is Emirates Hills. Emirates Hills, they call as the Beverly Hills of Dubai.
Yeah.
And it is one of the most niche property in Dubai. So moving from 3-bedroom to a 6-bedroom house in Emirates Hills, obviously everybody had their own rooms. So I had that fear in my mind that, when you stay in a big house, yes, you have the luxury and the privilege, but sometimes when you are staying in different rooms, it creates distance between the family. But touch wood, by the grace of Almighty God and the bonding what we had in the family, this did not happen.
Okay, तो ऐसे कुछ rules थे आपके घर में कि dinner साथ में ही करना है और have certain meals together. ऐसे कोई rules थे?
कोई rules वगैरह ऐसे बनाए नहीं थे. But even when we had a 2-bedroom house or a 3-bedroom house, we were always eating our dinners together because during lunch we were busy at work or they were busy with something else. But we ensured that our dinners, at least 4 days a week, we have it together.
Coming from a business family, I'm sure your boys, in a way have been born into a certain amount of privilege. So, यहाँ पे, were there certain steps that you took to make sure कि from a young age, they stayed grounded?
मैंने ऐसे कोई steps particularly नहीं लिए, but maybe they saw their parents, the way they carried themselves. They saw their bade papa Rizwan bhai carrying themselves. So they understood and realized that in spite of the fame and success, they knew that how to be grounded, and I did not have to hammer this to them. It came automatically to both my boys.
I'm wondering, as they were growing up, तब कभी ऐसे हुआ कि उनका attitude change होने लग गया friends group में या फिर family friends के साथ, ऐसा कभी हुआ?
Alhamdulillah, ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ, and I'm so happy to say this and with so much of pride and conviction that my boys, carried themselves in public as well as in their friends, as well as my friend circle in the way they were from the beginning. And I remember a lot of my friends said, "Ke the way your boys carry themselves in public, it doesn't show that they have lost their footing."
So this brings me to my next question, which is, were there any values from your own upbringing that you passed down to your kids?
Oh yes, when I was growing up, I used to not save so much. Well, I had that khula hath, like पैसा आता था खर्च कर देना था. But this lesson I got gradually that you need to save, or you need to ensure that whatever you earn, you save at least 50% of it.
Okay.
So this is something which I probably parted on to my boys, Azhar and Sahil, that as much as you are earning or you are getting a pocket money, ensure that आप उसका थोड़ा बचाओ, because a penny saved today is a fortune for tomorrow.
Nice. And what about, I think as a third person, मैं जब आपकी family को देखती हूँ, I see a very strong bond between you and Rizwan sir. So do you think that is something that your boys picked up on, and do we see the same bond between them today?
Oh yes. If I have to take credit of anything, I would say that the bonding what I can see between my both boys and Adil is a reflection of Rizwan and Anis. I am very happy to see, because all these 3 boys have seen how Rizwan and me are like so close to each other.
Yeah.
We might be in nature like chalk and cheese, but when it comes to bonding, I would say कि लोग हमारे भाइयों की मिसाल देते हैं. And today I can say, I can give the examples of these 3 boys because they are grounded as well as bonded and very happy in their own company.
Okay. So we all know कि children are highly influential. तो of course parents try करते हैं कि they impart values onto us. But कभी-कभी children, they learn more from what they see than what they hear. So इस पे what is your take?
You're 100% right, Shravani. I've seen in my own house that children learn or practice things what you do or what they see outside, especially at home. Now, when you are grooming your children or when your children are growing, you ensure that you don't quarrel with your wife in front of your boys. Now, what I'm trying to say कि ये उनके दिमाग में एक बैठा रहता है कि यार माँ बाप लड़ाई कर रहे हैं या quarrel कर रहे हैं. दूसरी बात, अगर आप अपने स्टाफ के साथ थोड़ा एंग्री मोड में आ जाते हो तो वो भी बच्चे देखते हैं. So you have to ensure that how you treat your people working around you, because what they see in elders that they are behaving either with your staff or with your house people or the house boys in the house, it definitely goes onto their mind कि नहीं यार my parents are talking. हो सकता है कि वो ये गलत रास्ता ले, but I would say that with time we have learned, not that we haven't made mistakes.
Yeah. So now let's come to the business side of things. Naturally, as your kids were growing up, I'm sure थोड़ा सा वो एक curiosity रहा होगा about business. But I want to understand कि did you make it a point कि they see the hard work that goes on behind the scenes of such a successful business?
Well, I remember I used to take my boys to the warehouse when I used to go for a visit or to the office. But most importantly, also take them to exhibitions to meet my suppliers. So this is where, when they were growing up, they saw the office culture, how it is, or how it is functioning in this warehouse, or how I meet with my partners.
Yeah.
So ये behind the scenes वो gradually, जैसे मैंने कहा कि वो सीखना शुरू हुए. And अब I can say कि Azhar entered business when he was 21, Sahil entered business when he was 22. तो ये मुझे सिखाना नहीं पड़ा, ये उनके खुद में आ गया कि नहीं ये उनकी responsibility है, rather than something like a parent dumping on them.
Yeah. Could you say in a way कि बचपन से ही आपने वो familiarity build की उनके लिए कि this is what a business environment is like and it became a part of their life almost?
You are spot on, that familiarity is very important. जैसे मैंने बताया कि कुछ चीजें वो लोग गलत सीखते हैं, तो अगर आप ऑफिस का माहौल क्रिएट करते हो, अपने पार्टनर्स के साथ मिलते हो उनके सामने, so they learn कि नहीं this is how you greet. Like मुझे पता है कि चाइना में अगर मिलना कार्ड देना है, फर्स्ट टाइम आप मिलते हो तो वैसे झुक के कार्ड देते हैं. सो बोथ माय बॉयज फॉलो दिस. तुम सीधा इस तरह कार्ड नहीं दे सकते. दैट इज अ रॉन्ग रिफ्लेक्शन, इट्स रूड. सो दिस इज वन एग्जांपल आई सेड. उसी तरह बिजनेस में आप कैसे अपने बायर्स के साथ बात करते हो, अपने लोगों के साथ बात, तो ये सब वो सीखते हैं. एंड आई एम हैप्पी कि बच्चों ने सही रास्ता सीखा. जहाँ गलत करते, समटाइम्स आई हैव टू ब्रिंग इट out to the notice कि नहीं ये गलत है, but there also you have to ensure कि you put it in a right way.
Right. So I'm curious to understand how important was it to you that they understood the responsibility that comes with fame?
Very important. You see, with name comes fame, with fame comes responsibility. And the kids obviously realized that as Sajan family, we were growing as a brand. And similarly with the company Danube, it was also getting popular. So it was our duty of parents to guide them, but making sure that you are not again forcing anything on them. Okay. So if your process is right, your results will automatically fall in place.
There are so many families like yours in Dubai, and a lot of parents debate whether बच्चों को should we ask them to work their way up or directly give them titles in a family business. क्योंकि बहुत parents ने खुद मेहनत करके they've built a brand, so they feel कि अच्छा, why should the kids go through the same? So what is your thought on this? Should kids be given leadership titles or should they work their way up?
Definitely work their way up. I'll be very honest, it's not because that I am the vice chairman or my brother is the chairman and you get your kids and give them the director role. No, they need to work from ground level to reach to a level where they are respected. If you give them directly a title of a sales manager or a director, they will not earn that respect which they would get it if they start from the ground roots of working in the warehouse or working in the shop or meeting people around. And then with time, so both my boys, it took them 3 years before they got the title of director or sales head. Well, Azhar initially started with real estate business where he started going with one of our colleagues in the office and tried to understand the do's and don'ts of real estate. But then with time he realized that no, dad, I am not enjoying this part of real estate. I would rather start something in luxury segment of bath and tiles because I was doing already the Milano which was for the masses. And there is where I gave that space and trusted his idea. अगर मैं यहाँ पे रोक टोक लगा लेता तो शायद he wouldn't have able to show what today mashallah Casa Milano is. So similarly for Sahil, he always wanted to get into Milano because I've always said it's my mirror image. I mean, I would say that I'm glad that he got into Milano because with age, I am definitely getting older, but young ideas he brought in, Sahil. The marketing skills, and what I like today with both the boys, they ensure that whether it is Casa Milano or Milano, they are taking their responsibility very seriously and not leaving it up to others. They go to China or to their foreign trips at least 5 to 6 times a year, which is much more than what I was doing during my earlier days.
My next question is, how do you balance giving them opportunities and also saving them from failure?
When you ask your children to, leap into something, failures are bound to come. In fact, I've always believed that with failures you learn. If you succeed all the time, then probably you not realize what is failure. So sometimes they stumble, they make mistakes, which is what as a parent I want. When I say that I want my children to stumble and fumble, it's just because I don't want them to see success overnight. I want them to come up the hard way, make mistakes and learn from the mistakes, because unless you make a mistake, you will never learn.
I think a lot of people think if you come from a family business, तो आपका काम कम होता है compared to other employees. But I would argue कि it's probably a 24/7 job, because if you're building a brand, then constantly आपके mind में वो चलता रहता है. So I guess discipline is a very big part of that.
काफी लोगों को ऐसा लगता है कि owners don't need to work hard or their children don't need to work hard. In fact, they need to work more hard and lead by example, because I've always believed, yes, the captain is as good as the team, but if the captain leads from the front, automatically your team will also do it. So if you as a parent are doing the basics right, your children will follow and make sure that they also are going in the right direction.
So now that you've mentioned parents, can you take a moment to give advice to parents who aren't sure whether they should introduce their kids into the family business or have them go on another road?
Well, I have said this, that if you see that the child is not interested into what you want to, like suppose I am a doctor and I want my child to become a doctor, but उसको उसमें interest नहीं है, उसको किसी और चीज में interest है, तो उसमें उसको back करो. Because there are a lot of times it's about backing the skills of your child. If you feel कि नहीं मेरा बच्चा business में ही आना चाहिए because मैं sanitary का business कर रहा हूँ, तो गलत है. उसमें अगर सामने से interest है और उसको आना है तो आने दो. उसको अगर engineer बनना है तो engineer बनाओ. बट अगर तुम ये सोचोगे कि नहीं भैया उसको धंधे में ही आना है, तो ये गलत है. वरना आपका बच्चा खो जाएगा और आप उसके पीछे पीछे हमेशा भागते रहोगे.
So if you could sum up the one value that you want your boys to carry forward, what would that be?
Well, there are not one, I would like to say two.
Okay.
One is obviously respect what you do. जो भी आप चीज कर रहे हो उसकी इज्जत करो. Because अगर आप इज्जत नहीं करोगे, वो आपको छोड़ के चले जाएगा. दूसरा, when you're growing up, you have friends, you want to meet them. So all this can take a back step, because जो आप काम 20 और 30 साल के बीच में कर सकते हो, वो बाद में आपके पास वो इतना एनर्जी नहीं रहेगा. तो 20 and 30 years के बीच में जो आपके पास ज़ील है, एनर्जी है, पैशन है, हंगर है, वो बाद में थोड़ा लेट हो जाएगी. तो अगर आप घुस रहे हो बिजनेस में, पूरी तरह घुस जाओ और अपना 100% लगा दो.
So for business leaders listening right now, what is the one parenting advice that you'd like to give?
Well, I would be honest to say that I don't have one advice, I have 3 advice. First, of course, be a friend to your child and not a strict parent. Secondly, give them space in whatever they do. Third, make sure to back them if they come up with an idea which doesn't align with you. Trust me, these 3 things if you follow in your life with your kids, they will never go wrong.
This conversation is proof that legacy isn't just about what you build, it's about who you raise. Thank you for listening to Anis Sajan Unfiltered, and we'll see you next week.